to the latest episode of the JetsSetter blog series. On this episode, we're going to discuss Curtis Martin going to the Hall of Fame and what to expect going into training camp.
That was good. That was nice.
This has been a crazy offseason for the Jets. Are you glad it's finally over?
You have no idea, man. Between the collapse last year and the Tim Tebow circus, I'm tired of the headlines. I just want football. I want action on the field and no more of this other speculation and everything else.
Well, this week the Jets head to Cortland, SUNY for training camp. Are there any position battles we should keep an eye on?
I think there's a couple. Obviously, the right tackle position everybody's going to look at with Wayne Hunter, and they just traded for Ota, which is a solid move if he's healthy. That's probably the biggest position right now. I mean, the linebackers, defensive line, everybody's going to kind of probably fight for positions, and the wide receiver position is kind of an unknown with Schillens and Turner and Stephen Hill trying to earn his keep. So there's a couple different ones there, but I think the one's going to get the most attention is probably the quarterback position, and it shouldn't because Mark Sanchez is the quarterback and Tebow's the backup. So let's just move on from that.
Well, what about the veterans? Do you think there's anybody on the bubble going into training camp? Is there a veteran that should really perform well, or he'll probably not be a Jet this year?
That's a good question. I think, Bart Scott is the one everybody likes to pick on, but Bart Scott's lost some weight. He's in better shape. Other than that, I mean, some of the offensive linemen, I mean, Dickershall Ferguson made the Pro Bowl, but he could probably raise his game a little bit. Then you have, Brian Thomas is coming back from injury. So some of these guys, they've been around a while. Calvin Pace, they've been around, but now it's time to earn your paycheck a little bit, So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But there's some guys that have the spotlight on them.
Well, it's time for Tebow Mania. Are you ready? Concerned?
Do you see I'm drinking? I'm not concerned because he's the backup quarterback. He should be treated like one. I mean, if the Jets were smart, they would take him and limit his media availability. That's my take on it.
All the news on SportsCenter, NFL 32, it's all been about they actually announced that Tebow is going to be a special team player. What are your thoughts on that?
Nonsense. I think Tebow, they're trying to find ways to kind of take away the pressure off Mark Sanchez and say, no, Tebow's going to do this, Tebow's going to do that. It's going to be a quarterback competition a little bit, but he's not returning kicks. He's not going to be all these gadget plays. He's going to run the Wildcat. He's going to run some different offensive plays, and that's it. So I'm not buying all the special teams nonsense.
What do you expect out of Mark Sanchez this season?
I expect this is put up or shove time for Mark Sanchez. He's the franchise quarterback. He's the starting quarterback. He's got to cut back on his turnovers. He's got to lead the team, which is not going to be easy because he's got inexperienced receivers. So he's going to have some challenges, but he's got to step his game up. I mean, he can't struggle. He can't start off slow. If he does, Tim Tebow Mania is going to take over, and then the fans are going to start crying, and it's going to be a disaster. So my personal opinion is that Sanchez steps up. I think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to quiet all the critics and make things a little bit difficult for Tebow to get on the field.
Lots been made out of the team chemistry of the Jets this year. Do you think those concerns have been
It's nonsense.
remedied?
It was last year. I mean, let's be honest. Antonio Holmes blew up. They all pointed fingers and everything else. It's a new year. It's a new season. And it's a story that's been beaten dead. I mean, every team in the NFL has issues, but you start fresh, new people, new attitude. Rex Ryan's made some changes. Sperano's here. So I think the chemistry issues to me is just a dead story that's just it's dwelling around far too long. So give the team a fresh start. They have a whole new approach. Sanchez is a new person in terms of his work ethic. And Rex has changed his ways with less trash talk. So, I just don't. I'm just tired of the chemistry issues. That's the least of their concerns. They should be more concerned about their offense not scoring points.
The latest news this week is Revis will be reporting to camp. What are your thoughts?
You can't be surprised. I mean, financially, he has every reason in the world to show up on time. I think in my eyes, it's not when he reports to camp, is what he does when he gets to camp. Does he participate? Is he become a media distraction? Or does he say, you know what, I'm not talking about the contract till the season's over, which is what he should do if he's a team leader. Other than that, you got to wait and see. Just because he's showing up doesn't mean nothing to me. Show up, practice every day, be a good teammate, and then I'd be impressed. But to show up and then ride the bike for 2 weeks, it's nothing to me. So he's coming, which is great, but he should be because a lot of money you'd lose. So we'll see what happens.
What are your thoughts on New York Jets running back Curtis Martin being inducted to the Hall of Fame next week?
I think it's awesome. Some Jet fans over the years have disputed Curtis Martin's value to the team and if he's actually a Hall of Fame player. But in terms of consistency, durability, what he meant on and off the field to the organization and the NFL, I think it's tremendous. I'm very excited. I'm going. I can't wait. I'm sure thousands of Jet fans are going. I think it's awesome. I think it's the right thing to do. It's the right move by the NFL. I'm glad the voters voted him in.
Looking back at his career, what are some of your favorite Curtis Martin moments?
The first thing about Curtis Martin that I always remember is that he's the most fan-friendly player in terms of like a star athlete being accessible to the fans. Before and after every game, he always signed autographs. He always took pictures, win or lose. If he had 100 yards or he fumbled, he always was good to the fans. In terms of on the field, he's tough, man. Tough. He played with 2 sprained ankles. He would take beatings and concussions and whatever else, and he was always on the field. He was always there. I mean, he was just consistent, a leader by his actions, not by his words. And I think it's just tremendous. I mean, he was just a player that you look up to, and he's good for the NFL.
Just one of the all-time greats.
I'm happy to be. I'm a huge Curtis Martin fan. I think it's just great. It's a very positive moment for the organization. Thank you for watching another episode of JetsSetter video blog series. You can follow me on Twitter at TRoush21, and you can get me on Facebook at Tyson Roush. And starting next week, we'll be answering questions from the fans. If you have any questions, tweet us, send us a message on Facebook. We'll be happy to answer them the best we can. And also, we're heading out to Canton for Curtis Martin's ceremony. So hit me up if you're going out there. We could probably meet up, have a beer, and celebrate Curtis Martin going to Canton. So that's it. Don't forget, say goodbye to Alf, and that's it. Take care.